I woke up on a frigid, sub-freezing morning in Philadelphia a couple of Fridays ago after 8 inches of snow, and I decided that I was going to take Amtrak about 80 miles west of Philadelphia to a place called Lancaster City. As you can see from the map here, Lancaster City is at the far left end of this map here, right about where it says Keystone. It says Keystone because this area from Philadelphia to Harrisburg, which is the state capital in the center of the state, is called the Keystone Corridor. Runs from Philadelphia to Harrisburg. Lancaster is about in the middle of that. Now, if you look northeast of Philadelphia, that's the Northeast Corridor, which runs from D.C. to Boston through Philadelphia and New York. Philadelphia sits about smack in the middle of that. So you can see Philadelphia is at the crossroads of various eastern railroads. In any case, that day I started from Paoli, which you see is just to the left there of Philadelphia. Paoli, Exton, all of these stations here, as you see, they're all part of SEPTA's commuter railroad that goes to Philadelphia, starting in Thorndale, which is a little bit past Coatesville. Now, what you're seeing here is the Civil War monument in Lancaster City, built in 1871 to the folks that fell in the Civil War from Lancaster. Anyway, after I got off the train and I walked past the Civil War monument, I went to the city market where I picked myself up this delicious hoagie, which I had for brunch here, and sat at tables chatting with various people. What you're seeing now is typical architecture of Lancaster, which has a lot of architecture like this just after the Civil War. What we see here is a very interesting, to me anyway, mobile that was situated outside the Lancaster Railroad Station, and it had started to snow. I thought this whole mobile exhibit here was very beautiful. And about this point, I decided I was going to start to head home. I walked up to the Lancaster Railroad Station, which is the former Pennsylvania Railroad Station in Lancaster, and got myself into the station. It's actually a very nice station. I'm sure it saw lots of traffic being on the main line of the Pennsylvania Railroad, heading west towards Pittsburgh and Chicago in the past. Now, one thing you got to understand about Lancaster City is it's the oldest inland city in Pennsylvania, founded in, I believe, 1720. So it's a very substantial place. The Amish live around here in the county, not so much in Lancaster City. And the Amish actually make a lot of use of this train station because almost universally, the Amish anyway, they're not allowed really any public transportation except for the railroad. I mean, they can hire taxis, but the railroad would be the most economical way for them to get themselves to Florida in the winter months when they go, or really to get themselves anywhere that they need to go that's more than, say, the 10 to 20 miles that their horses and buggies, specifically depending on the strength of the horses, they can't really get them places more than 20 miles, which is actually an extreme. One of the nice things about Amtrak that I found getting on a Paoli was that their seats are quite spacious and comfortable. And they do have electrical outlets there on the wall. And then there is quite a nice recline function available that, it was just a lovely seat with plenty of leg room. And as we headed out of Lancaster Station, back towards the east, closer to where I live there on the main line of the old Pennsylvania Railroad, it was a frigid scene like this. We passed many of these Amish farms that just were covered with snow that had turned to ice, more sub-zero temperatures. But the train was moving quite fast, actually. And at 146 kilometers an hour, that's something like 90 miles an hour. And I thought that was pretty substantial and impressive. And then I basically wrapped up my day. Amtrak only took me to Paoli, so I then had to change the SEPTA for a few stations. At least up the trains are pretty nice. They're nicely heated, and they're comfortable. And these are, relatively newer trains. And as you can see from the inside, it's taking a beating a bit from the winter weather and people's shoes, but the seats are very comfortable.